What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Darian and I am the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. On this channel, we focus on two things, fragrances as well as fashion. So if you love looking good and smelling great, subscribe to the channel and also make sure you hit that bell icon as well. So that way, when I upload new content, you get notified. All right, guys, on today's video, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you the truth, man. We about to shut it down. All right, we about to break the internet on this video right here. Because today, I am talking about 10 of the sexiest fragrances on the planet. Yeah, you heard me correctly. 10 of the sexiest fragrances on the planet, period, point blank, end of discussion. You know, I'm not even doing this with y'all today. You know what? Matter of fact, cue up my music. Cue my music. Shout out to the news, man. You make me feel like it's magic. No, but I'm serious, man. This is going to be the list of all lists. I've done a list like this, similar to this before, but this is the comprehensive list. Now that I've been collecting for a while, this is just where the buck stops right here, man. Now, I understand I haven't smelled every fragrance in the world, but at this point, I've smelled a whole lot. And for what I have in my collection, again, we about to rock it out with 10 of the sexiest fragrances on the planet, point blank, end of discussion. Now on this fragrance list, you're gonna hear fragrances that has a lot to do with booze, alcohol, roses, chocolate, strawberries, cherries, roses. Need I say more? Ain't nothing cute on this list today, all right? So ain't nothing cute, no most complimented, nothing cute. None of the cute stuff, Dior Sauvage, all that stuff is good, but that is not what this list is about today. We're talking about pure sexiness. Fragrances on this list have nothing but good intentions and bad decisions written all over them. So if you want to see what's on the list today, 10 of the sexiest fragrances on the planet, period, then you know how we get down, man. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in, man. Let's go ahead and jump right into this list. Now, I do have a few honorable mentions, and the first honorable mention that honestly would make this list is my fragrance from the house of Novices Parfums, and that is Serenade. Now, you guys know how I rock, man. I love my fragrances, but I don't put my fragrances on list. When I do think it's appropriate for one of my fragrances to be on a list, then I'll mention it as an honorable mention. And guys, this is a sexy fragrance right here. You guys that have it know exactly what I am talking about. Serenade that I did with the House of Novices Parfums is just sexy. You talk about booze, sweetness, chocolate. It has all of that, cognac, chocolate. Y'all guys know the drill with this thing, man. And those of you that have had it have said the same thing. This is one of the sexiest fragrances in your collection. So I will be remiss if I did not mention my own fragrance that I had something to do with as relates to this particular scent, my fragrances with Novices, which is Serenade. Now, guys, go ahead. Also, I always have a link down below if you want to check Serenade out, or any of the fragrances from Novices. I always have my link down below where you can do so. And also, remember, they have those discovery sets that are right behind me, right here. The red and the black box. In those boxes, you have a chance to sample everything that's ever come out with the brand. So make sure you head over to novicesparfums.com and go ahead and check out either my fragrance Serenade or Oud, which is now Lyric, or one of the discovery sets. So make sure you head over there and do that. So two other quick honorable mentions that just missed the cut from the House of Rose Parfums, Amber Oud. This thing is so sexy, man. It's Amber, Oud, and Rose. Oh man, it is so sensual, but I didn't want to have the list inundated with the same kind of scent, but this was just on the outside looking in. Amber Oud, and also Noir Aphrodisiac from the House of by Kilian. Honestly, Kilian could do a top 5 or 10 sexiest fragrances on the planet in that house alone, but I do have another Kilian on the list, spoiler alert. but I did want to go ahead and mention this one as well, because the other one I have, I think is, well, not I think, I know is way even more sexy than this one. So it goes in as an honorable mention. Now for the top 10. Let's go. Hey, guys, why do I do this kind of stuff, man? Why do I do this stuff, man? But I got to do it for you, for the people. I'm for the people, all right? So this first fragrance up on the list from the house of Frederic Malle. I've talked about it before, but when you talk about sexy, you got to talk about this stuff, man. And this one is called French Lover. French Lover. I mean, guys, you see how this list, man, all the names are sexy. All the names of these fragrances are sexy as well. It's not just what's in the bottle, man. The names on these things are sexy as well. French Lover. Now, I'm not French, but at the end of the day, I am a lover, not a fighter. So this fragrance right here epitomizes sexy. All right, but it's a different kind of sexy from the other fragrances on this list. Now, I talked about on the opening, a lot of these other fragrances, you're going to see roses, chocolate, booze, all that kind of stuff. This is the guy that walks into the room in the all black suit with the white shirt, opened up 3 buttons down with a pair of $1,000 loafers, and he just stepped out of a Ferrari. He's got the good hair. He's got the salt and pepper beard, freshly manicured and cut. That's with a Rolex on. That's this guy right here. that's this guy right here, French Lover. And there are women out there that find that kind of guy very, very sexy. And that's what this fragrance is, man. Again, it's just a very kind of mature sexiness. It's green and woody. That's the best way for me to kind of summarize this scent. So it's going to be a little bit different from the other fragrances on this list because it doesn't have the roses, doesn't have the booze, it doesn't have the chocolate and the fruits and stuff like that like a lot of the other fragrances on this list. This is just green, woody sexiness right here. This is a masculine sexiness in a bottle for a very mature gent. So check this one out, guys, from the house of Frederic Malle. This is called French Lover. All right, guys, the next fragrance on this list, this one comes from the house of Nichane. Another sexy name. Let's check it out, guys. This is called Fan Your Flames. Fan Your Flames. Now, if you wear this, she will be fanning her flames because this fragrance is smoking freaking hot. You have tobacco, rum, and coconut are the main notes in this fragrance. And again, tobacco, rum, smoke, booze, good time in a bottle. Check it out. From the house of Nichane. Again, guys, if you're looking for something again that's very, very sensual, very, very seductive, and very, very sexy, you got to get your nose on this stuff right here from the house of Nichane. Again, this one is called Fan Your Flames. All right, guys, the next fragrance on this list is a fragrance that you rarely hear anything about if you look across this space on YouTube right here. But man, if you're talking about this category, sexy fragrances, you got to mention it again. Another one with a sexy name, sexy notes, sexy fragrance from the house of Rose Dove. This is called Tiamo. This is Tiamo, and the main 2 notes that I want to mention here is going to be cacao and the rose. And again, cacao is not as sweet as chocolate. It's almost like it's a little bit of a muted sweetness if you just compare it normally to what I smell when I smell chocolate. You know, very similar to chocolate, but again, cacao comes off a little bit more powdery than chocolate. But you have cacao in here and you have rose. Again, there's a host of other floral notes in here, neroli, ylang-ylang. So again, that floralness, as I told you guys before, women really like florals, especially when a guy wears it and he's dressed up, is going to work. So if you're going out on a date night, you got a little extra coin to put towards a fragrance, check this one out, guys, from the house of Rose Parfums. Again, it is called Tiamo. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list comes from a fragrance house that, just like the house of Kilian, does sexy very well. From the house of Initial Parfums, this one is called Absolute Aphrodisiac. Absolute Aphrodisiac. You have vanilla in this, and you have leather and musk. And again, I think musk is one of those really, really masculine, sexy notes. Works well with the vanilla in this scent. And again, you have a little bit of that kind of sexy smokiness that comes from leather. To me, guys, leather, musk, generally speaking, are 2 very masculine notes, very sexy notes, and they really work to help kind of push that narrative in this particular fragrance, man. So check this one out from the house of Initial Parfums if you're looking for something that's sexy. Oh man, Look no further than this one right here from the house of Initio Parfums. Again, this is called the Absolute Aphrodisiac. All right, guys, this next fragrance comes from an indie house called Malik Perfumes. And this fragrance is called Very Cherry. Very cherry, guys. There's a cherry accord in here. There's some chocolate. There's some patchouli in this as well. Again, all those things that when you think about a good, sexy fragrance, the makeup of a good, sexy fragrance, this thing has it all. So make sure if you get a chance, guys, again, and support it. It's an indie house, so if you can't support it. But this thing is super, super sexy, man. And that's why it's on the list. Out of all the fragrances that I have, this is definitely one of the top 10 from the house of Malik Perfumes. This one is called Very Cherry. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on the list, another fragrance again, guys. All the fragrances on this list pretty much have a sexy name to them, man. And this one is no different. This is from the house of Mask Milano, and this is called Tango. Tango. I don't need to say much else because a lot of these fragrances, really, I could just say the name and I could go ahead and walk off. But just to tell you a little bit about what's in this scent, man, Tango. If you want a tango, you know what I'm saying? If you want a tango, you gotta check this one out, guys. It opens up. There's a little bit of cumin in here, and cumin can be hit or miss for me, but it's not over the top in this fragrance, but it gives us just a little bit of skank, and sometimes that can really be enticing and inviting if done the right way, and it's done the right way in this fragrance. A little bit of cumin, benzoin when this fragrance opens up. Okay, you got a little bit of that going on in the opening, but as it starts to dry down, man, of course you got a little bit of an animalic jasmine in this fragrance right here. A little bit of cinnamon, a very, very nice masculine woody undertone, guaiac wood, sandalwood, cedarwood on the dry down. Guys, you gotta check this stuff out, man. You talk about something that's super sexy. This is super sexy. So check it out if you get a chance from the house of Mask Milano. This is called Tango. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on the list. This one needs no introduction, but this one is from the house of Tom Ford. And this one, of course, is called Oud Wood. Oud Wood. Oud Wood is oud good. And it is a sexy, 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 sexy fragrance. You have a little hint of rose in here. You have some cedar wood. And you have, I would say, just the right amount of kind of that sexy, playful sweetness that's kind of lingering in the background on this fragrance. And I just think that's what really contributes to this really just alluring and very, very seductive vibe that you get from this particular scent, man. One of the favorites, my absolute favorites in my entire collection. You guys know how I feel about this one if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time. To me, this is one of the best in this category. So check it out from the house of Tom Ford. Again, this one is called Oud Wood. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on this list is a fragrance that I mentioned here recently. And listen, man, you got to put this one at the top of the class in this category. This fragrance comes from the house of Chemi Blending Magic, and this one is called Aurum. Aurum. I took the missus out last week. We went to a nice steakhouse, and I wore this. This was my date night fragrance. Absolute magic, man. You got a little bit of rose in here. You have some chocolate, and you have strawberries. Again, the recipe for a good, sexy date night. Everything that you need is right here in this bottle right here. Again, chocolate covered strawberries with a little bed of roses. Can't go wrong with that. So make sure you check this one out from the house of Chemi. This one is called Aurum. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on the list is one that I talk about a lot when we talk about these kind of fragrances. And again, it's all in the name. From the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, this is Oud Satin Move. Oud Satin Move. There's just something really sexy about silk and satin when you think about it. I see why this fragrance was named that. It is aptly named. You have, of course, two variations, a variety of roses in this fragrance with oud. Again, so anytime you find that combination rose and oud, a lot of times you're going to really get that sensual vibe that you're looking for in a fragrance. And this definitely, again, is one of the best in class. So check it out from the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This is called Oud Satin Move. And last but not least, guys, a fragrance that certainly needs no introduction. From the house of the master of this space. To me, in my mind, when you talk about sexy fragrances, the house of by Kilian, it's just straight to heaven extreme. Straight to heaven extreme. Booze. Of course. You have booze in this. Very, very, very nice rum. An aged rum with a beautiful cedar wood dry down. That's really what this is all about. Man, you just got to get your nose on this. And fellas, I understand this is, Kilian is in and out with this fragrance as far as the availability of it. So it's not that accessible, but okay, so if you get the original straight to heaven, all right? So just imagine if you turn the booziness up by about 5 notches and turn the cedar wood up about 3 notches, and that'll kind of get you in the ballpark of what this is. But this is the sexiest fragrance, one of the sexiest fragrances on the absolute entire planet. So just check it out, man. Do yourself a favor if you can get your hands on it, and check this one out, because as I always say, this one will take us straight to heaven. All right, guys, that's it. That's my time, man. I hope you enjoyed this video today, as I gave you 10 of the sexiest fragrances on the planet, period, point blank, end of discussion. As always, I appreciate your time and attention to these videos. You don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. And don't forget, guys, to make sure you take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you share these videos out to some other folks that you think could use this information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side.